Hello everybody, it's Adina and welcome to my channel. I appreciate all of you guys being here. Today we are going to do a really quick reading on Chris Stokes. I actually pulled a few cards on Raspberry a few weeks ago, and I recorded it as a video, but I never shared it. I never posted it because I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't. But in that video, I kind of touched a little bit on Chris Stokes, and I told myself that I was going to come back and do a reading on Chris Stokes. And so I'm going to do a reading on Chris Stokes today. He was, I believe, like the manager or some type of industry executive for B2K and Immature, who later became IMX, I believe, or something like that. And there have been long-standing allegations surrounding him and his alleged inappropriate behavior with minors, with the members of his group when they were young and coming up, when they were minors. You guys can do a quick Google search on those numerous accusations yourself. For the sake of time, I won't spend too much time talking about all of them because we're about to pull cards and see about it. So, with that being said, let's just get to it. Chris Stokes. Spirit, please allow me to pull up the spirit and the soul and the energy of Chris Stokes and see what is hidden, see what is seen and unseen, on the scene and behind the scenes. Allow nothing to be hidden from me, for the sake of everyone's good. Let him be vindicated if he is innocent, and let justice be served in whoever's favor it belongs to. With that being said, there have been long-standing, like I mentioned, allegations surrounding Chris Stokes, and I would just like to see what was the energy surrounding Chris Stokes and Immature and B2K. I will say, were any of the allegations about Chris Stokes' behavior with the young boys in that group true? Any of Raspy's allegations and other people's allegations about his behavior with those minor boys, B2K and Immature, back in their early days, were any of those allegations true? There were allegations of sexual abuse, alleged sexual abuse, and I would like to see, was there any truth surrounding sexual abuse from Chris Stokes to any of the boys in B2K or Immature? Is there any truth to those allegations? The Six of Pentacles in reverse. I actually got this the other day when I was reading someone, and someone that I met, and they had like a really long criminal history, and there was some allegations behind them about some deaths that happened around them, and I wanted to know if that person had ever taken a life. And I got the Six of Pentacles. Now, upright, the Six of Pentacles is giving, you know, giving freely of yourself to those in need. In reverse, it is greed. It is one-sided giving, one-sided charity. It's greed, it's taking. So upright, the Six of Pentacles is giving. Reverse, I consider it taking. When I pulled this card asking about the gentleman, whether he had ever taken a life, I got this card, so I assumed that he had. Not only was there inappropriate sexual behavior, because this card is another sexual card to me. I got it in regards to how a gentleman that I know anyways, I got it in regards to someone that I know. And anyways, I got it upright, and it let me know that they want to do me. They think about doing me in all the worst ways. So not only was there inappropriate behavior, sexual behavior, because this is a sexy, wands are sexy cards to me, but there was also a mishandling of their money, mismanagement of their money. So I see that off rip. And King of Wands in reverse on the bottom. Like I mentioned, wands are sex cards to me. King of Wands in upright is very passionate, and can exude sexual energy. In reverse, I would like to say it's inappropriate. There was definitely inappropriate activity surrounding these young boys. And Chris Stokes is a Cancer. He's almost a Leo, because his birthday is the 21st and Leo season starts on the 23rd. So both of these to me, because I consider him almost a cusper, give me his energy. And this is also young men to me, for an opportunity. But that's on the bottom of the deck. So off rip, they were mismanaged. Their finances were mismanaged, and there was something inappropriately sexual in nature regarding them getting put on. Like I said, there was a mismanagement of their funds, but I don't think the boys said too much, because they didn't want any problems, and I don't think that they were really wise enough at the time. Their families or people around them weren't wise enough regarding what was going on with them. I even believe that some people were turning blind eyes. I don't know what any of their mother's sign is, but I think about Omarion's mother, and not saying, you know, this is all alleged, but she came to mind. Turning a blind eye and pretending like you don't know things so that you don't cause a fuss or mess up. Well, here's the mother. Somebody's mother allegedly offered their child up, knowing full well what was going on with them, knowing that their finances were big, because I think that allegedly the mother was getting cut off. Obviously they were minors, so their mothers were benefiting the most from their fame and the fortune that they amassed while they were young boys, and they allowed them to remain in a situation that wasn't good for them, and they continued to turn a blind eye to things in order to continue getting paid. I almost don't want to say this because it's such a heavy allegation, but somebody's mother, allegedly, in my mind, somebody's mother gave their child to Chris Stokes, knowing full well who he was, what he did, but it was like selling your child to a pimp or a trafficker for a fee. This is what one of their mothers did, allegedly, and in my mind, it is Omarion's mother. Allegedly, this is just my imagination running wild, and none of these accusations are true, and they don't stand on anything solid, any solid facts. So please take this as entertainment, and that's it. But allegedly, one of their mothers, and I so strongly feel like it was Omarion's mother, because of his relation to Marcus Houston. She saw what Chris Stokes was able to do for IMX, and she saw what went on. However, this actually, I believe, it happens more often than not in Hollywood. Parents allow their children to be put in environments where they know there is inappropriate behavior going on, and where they know that their child could be affected by it. But it's like they look at the history, they look at all the other children that grew up in the business in Hollywood before theirs, and see that, you know, they went through the same thing, and they turned out okay. Worst case scenario, they do drugs, but in a few of them, you know, can't handle it and, you know, spiral out. But for the most part, I can control, you know, I can control my son's behavior even while he's going through those things. Like, I can monitor it and I can control it, bring it back in so that they don't spiral out. It's almost like, yeah, I know what my child is going to go through, but I'm going to stay on top of their emotional well-being so that they don't spiral out. And none of the boys spiraled out, but they hold their trauma. It expresses itself in other ways, like their relationships or the lack thereof. Razby's allegations against Chris Stokes are was Razby or any of the other boys molested by Chris Stokes? Yes or no? Was Razby or any of the boys in that group molested by Chris Stokes, allegedly? The 10 of Cups in reverse, 7 of Cups in reverse, the Hierophant, There are so many elements in here of greed, mismanagement of money. I see an injustice. I see a woman here. Again, turning a blind eye. Somebody's mother, it wasn't easy for them to turn the blind eye. It wasn't easy. Okay. It wasn't easy to turn a blind eye. It hurt them, but because they knew what Chris Stokes was doing. Again, they knew what he was doing, but they were so successful. And they would lose things. It was more about the fame and the success and the money for their families. Their families knew what was going on. Like, whose mother keeps coming out here? And again, not saying anything for fear of losing everything. And I feel like it is the reason why Razby, because I specifically asked about him, is in the hospital today, and goes through the mental and emotional imbalances that he goes through, because no one cared enough to help them. Because they were so successful, so young, they made so much money. No one cared to actually do anything. People knew, but they knew, but they didn't say anything. All right, woo, I am sweating. It is hot. All right, I don't want this to be longer than 20 minutes. So I am just going to say, what is the energy surrounding Chris Stokes? What is the energy surrounding Chris Stokes? One moment, you guys. Okay, what is the energy surrounding Chris Stokes? And I also have to make this quick because I have an appointment to go to today, a showing. What is the energy around Chris Stokes? I do not believe that much has changed with Mr. Chris Stokes. Whatever he was up to back then, he's up to now still. A devil. Death and devil in reverse. What kind of energy is that? Queen of Pentacles. There is a woman in business with Chris Stokes. I believe his sister or something like that. She's usually low-key and behind the scenes. But she came out in the last reading I did on Raspy that I didn't post. But she is sort of she handles his inappropriate behavior so that he doesn't get caught for it. So there is something regarding their inappropriate behavior with children and mismanaging artists' funds that she actually runs and controls from the background so that he does not alert anyone. She is his right-hand man, and I get that she really runs whatever inappropriate business that he does. She handles it. She's like his, is it called henchman or something like that? She keeps him from going to jail behind his sexual behavior. There's something I want to say. There is something I want to say, but I'm going to look into this High Priestess first. There is something nasty and sexual, inappropriate sexual behavior. Who lives with him? Did they ever live with him? Something happened when, I think that the boys may have lived with Chris Stokes back in the day. They used to live together back in the day, and there was a lot of inappropriate stuff that happened when they lived together. There's the card I was looking for. It reminds me of trafficking. Some sort of trafficking. I know that Marcus Houston's wife was a minor when they got together. And I think she was of age when they got married, but she might be 10 or so years his junior. But how they got access to this young girl, in order for him to have that type of relationship with her while she was missing and a minor, the word trafficking pops up in my mind. So I don't think she is the first female or young first child, first minor that happened with. I also think that when that whole story about Marcus Houston's wife came out, the wife was worried. She was worried about what else would come out. Let me ask Spirit, why was she worried? Why was Marcus Houston's wife worried about what else would come out? Queen of Wands. They would look into, I get trafficking. I keep seeing and hearing trafficking. She didn't want to be the reason that anyone investigated their trafficking. I think that a formal investigation needs to be launched into Chris Stokes and Associates, because I absolutely believe that they are responsible for allegedly bringing undocumented, not like illegal aliens, maybe, illegal immigrants, maybe or maybe not, but missing minor children, things like that, bringing them into Hollywood when they're young, exploiting them sexually, grooming them, and then they pop out when they're of age, either in relationships or as industry pass-arounds, or even as actresses, singers, and things like that. Like, if anyone looked into that, I think it would uncover a lot more things. And I think that this is why, all right, let me just ask before I say I think. Let me just ask, and then I'm going to close. Why has Chris Stokes never been investigated for all of the allegations against him? Why has Chris Stokes never been investigated formally for the allegations against him? Why does he seem to be untouchable? Money, opportunity, people. He has a service that I believe that the industry values. And that is, here's this Queen of Wands again. There is a woman that helps, that assists, like a madam that helps, that goes out and helps get the girls. Kind of like Ghislaine Maxwell. It's allegedly something like that. And he brings them into Hollywood. He's like an importer. He brings the children into Hollywood to be groomed for whatever purposes the people that buy them decide to do with them. Whether it's, say, a record executive who wants a little sex slave, allegedly, and you know, they use and abuse them and then groom them to be singers, and then, you know, they, all right, as I was saying, he doesn't get arrested because he brings in the business, and the business is the bodies. And I was saying, for instance, like an executive, a perverted executive, he brings in a load of missing or orphaned, or, you know, children that no one would look for or think to account for, and then, you know, auctions them off, allegedly, and then say an executive will get one, use them and abuse them how they would like to, and then once they get a little older, sign them as an actress or a musician or something, and then continue to enslave and pimp them out to other people, sexually and professionally, allegedly. Justice in reverse. And this is still asking why he has never been investigated, and I got this Ace of Pentacles. He doesn't get investigated because he's being protected. He's being helped. For greed. By people higher than him, or, you know, people with authority, power, money, who who secretly exploit children. Drugs, children, you name it. And they do everything they can to keep their business from being looked into. And I still truly believe that his sister, Chris Stokes' sister, is his partner in crime, partner in transporting and trafficking, allegedly. That is my opinion, and that is Chris Stokes. So I'll leave it here because I'm annoyed. Bye.